Okay, welcome everybody. We're glad for those that are here live. I know several of you will be watching this back later. You had obligations tonight that were keeping you from watching this live. So grateful for those that are taking the time to watch this after the fact, but we have a really great training in store for you tonight. I'm excited about it. This is something I've used in my own business and really found success in it. It's something that I've implemented the last 2 years and really love the idea of visualizing, goal setting, and vision boards. So that's what tonight's call is about, and we hope that you find some value in this because we'll go over a lot of different topics. And some of this may seem familiar, but a lot of it is it's several different kind of trainings morphed into one. So some of it will seem familiar, but not all of it. So anyway, glad you're here. Thanks for taking the time to be here to watch the replay. So tonight, a couple things. Make sure that you have a piece of paper and a pen. We want to make sure that you're taking good notes for tonight because there's a lot of things we want you to jot down. It'll be a little interactive, but a lot of just reflection too. A lot of this will be a reflection call. So if you can, eliminate your distractions. You know, you might have a computer screen open or your phone that's going, crazy. If it's like mine, it's consistently beeping, buzzing, dinging. So turn all of those off. Put your phone on silent just for this call, and just get really intentional with what we're going to talk about tonight. And the best way to do that is eliminate distractions. So if you have to use the bathroom, use the bathroom now. Get your water, get your pen and your journal, and get ready to chat. So a lot of what we're talking about tonight is visualizing, visualizing and goal setting. Like, what is it that you want? What is it that you want for 2020? What is it that you want for your business? I put in the event page that there's 8 different categories that we'll discuss tonight. And I have my little puppy helpers in here. You'll hear at least one of them. She likes to be very noisy when I talk. I don't know why that is. So what we want to talk about tonight is what your vision is for 2020. And the reason that I'm hosting this call tonight is because without a vision, we just simply repeat what's familiar. Can any of you relate to that? You kind of get in your rut and you just do what's familiar. That's how it is. But creating a vision for yourself will help you get out of that rut and get out of what's familiar and into some uncharted waters. But it's really important that we know what that vision is, because our mind, it thinks in pictures. When you see a movie, or it's like you're playing the movie in your mind, you want to be able to reflect and picture it as if it's already happening. So one exercise that I've done that's really effective before is that I'll set a timer and I have somebody ask me. Now, this was first done. I first did this at a Jack Canfield. If any of you are familiar with that, Chicken Soup for the Soul, he's the author of that and the Success Principles. So at an event that he was speaking at, he asked us, what do we want? And he had us pull out a piece of paper and he set a timer, and for 2 minutes, we were supposed to ask the partner, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? So Matt and I partnered up, and I asked Matt asked me, what do you want? What do you want? And there was no commentary other than, what do you want? What do you want? So in a perfect world, I would do that right now. I would say, what do you want? Kathleen, what do you want? Joey, Alex, what do you want? Melissa, what do you want? Tracy, what do you want? Katie, what do you want? Heather, what do you want? And even as I think about what I want, as I start to jot those things down, and the first few lines, if you do this for a good solid 2 minutes of what do you want, and you have a partner asking you those questions, it's probably the same things that a lot of people say. I want to lose 5 pounds. I want to have a peaceful home, or I want a new car, or I want, they become, in the beginning, it's just kind of those no-brainer answers, right? But the deeper you go into that 2 minutes, it's surprising what comes out, that suddenly you're having to think a little bit more like, what do I really want? Like, those things sound nice. A new car sounds nice. Losing 5, 10, 15 pounds sounds nice, but what is it really that you want? What is it that you want? So that's an exercise I would challenge you to do outside of this call. Just spend a couple minutes thinking about what you want. We're going to dive a little bit deeper into some of the categories, these 8 categories that we posted in the events page. We'll get into that in just a second. But one thing, let me make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, so one thing I want to highlight is we think about what we want and those goals that we want, like, oh, I would love to lose 10 pounds. It's not really the 10 pounds that's the goal, it's the feeling that losing the 10 pounds is going to give you. So that's one thing that you need to be really mindful of as you're setting goals, is it's not just the goal itself, but the feeling. So when I think about, okay, I want to lose 10 pounds, why do I want to lose 10 pounds? Why would I want to lose 10? Well, to feel more confident, for one, that may be one, or I want to feel better in a swimsuit. We've got the paw trip coming up in a couple months. I want to look good in a swimsuit, right? So it's that feeling of like, I put on a swimsuit and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm feeling good. I want to feel good in that swimsuit and not like, well, let's cover it up, cover everything up, guys, you know? So that's the feeling of confidence, the feeling of just mostly confidence, feeling fit, feeling excited about shopping for a swimsuit. Those are the feelings I'm going for. What about getting out of debt? If you say that generic, like, I just want to get out of debt. I think that's a common American dream, right? The American dream is to get out of debt. You don't owe anybody anything. And what is that? You know, what is the feeling you're really going for when you're talking about getting out of debt? It's the feeling of you don't owe anybody anything. You have, you know, anything that you earn is yours to keep. It's the feeling of in control, a feeling that you don't have to work for the man. You get to work and you get to keep what you earn. What about if in your relationship, you know, if you're wanting to feel more connected in your relationship, why? You know, what is it in your relationship that you want to feel more connected to? What's that feeling that you're going for? So that's what we're going to talk about tonight is more the feeling that you're going for in addition to what it's going to take to get there. So this is the part where I said, pull out your journals, pull out your notepads, get ready. We're going to talk about these different 8 categories. And this is where I would love for it to get a little interactive. If you're open to sharing, I would love to hear. You can use the chat comment, you know, the chat box if you need to. But I would love to have you share if you can. But we'll spend about a minute in each category, kind of talking about each one, what you're wanting and what you want to feel more of, and what you need, what actions you need to take to help you get there. So first question. First category, I should say, is what do you want to be, do, or have in, let's see, in your spiritual. So this is one of 8 categories, okay? So in your spiritual life, what do you want to have, feel, or create, experience in your spiritual life? Now, spiritual life, that might mean, you know, it might mean universe, it might mean God, it might mean just you know, you and the power of you and how you feel about you. It doesn't have to be necessarily God. It's just what do you want to feel spiritually, whether it's in tune with you, with God, with the universe. What do you want to feel, create, or experience more of in your spiritual life? Maybe it's like, for me, you know, this is an example, and this is where you're welcome to use the chat and just chime in if you'd like. For me, my spiritual side, I would just love to feel more connected, more in tune. Like, how can I help other people? How can I, you know, is there ever been a time where you are maybe prompted to do something or call someone or reach out to somebody? I would just love to feel more in tune, that when I'm feeling that, if I'm feeling like, hey, what's Kathleen up to these days? I could call Kathleen because I was kind of nudged to do that. I feel like that takes some being in tune with my spiritual side and listening to my gut. So if that's what you want, you know, for me, it was connection, being in tune. What actions help me move along that path? What are some of the things I can do, the actionable items that will help me move along that path? One would be meditation. This is an area that I really struggle with, but I know how powerful it can be when I meditate, when I study scriptures, when I have prayer. Those are things that really help me feel more in tune and more connected to myself, to that higher power. So yeah. Anybody want to share their thoughts or feelings as it relates to their spirituality,
I'll share real quick,
Okay,
because the
great.
first thing that came to my mind was I would love to feel more trusting of the days ahead, of the future, not way out future, but that to me is part of spirituality for me.
Perfect. So as you think about that, what kind of actions can help you feel that way? What are some of the actionable items that will help you feel that way? I gotta shut my office door because everybody's being loud. Hold on. Any thoughts on that, Kathleen? Because that's what we're trying to get, the feeling that you want to feel, but what's the action that can help us feel that way? Because something has to be on us, right? Like these goals and things that we have to take some accountability on some of these goals and how we can get there. So any ideas on how that can be, how you can have action steps to help you get there?
the first thing that comes to my mind is to start small, to set some kind of a goal or something in front of me and trust that it's going to happen.
Okay.
Take the steps to. I mean, I think, when it comes to trust, you have to put yourself out there and you have to do certain things and then allow it to happen.
Yeah.
Probably letting go a little bit.
So letting go of some of
This
that.
is more, this is,
Okay,
for
good.
me. Maybe
Good.
somebody else has, I'd love to hear anybody else has something to add. I might need some ideas.
I'll say mine.
Okay, great. Thanks, Tracy.
Okay, so what do I want? It's funny because this was in my 2020 whatever, and I haven't done it yet, and we're in March, so it is coming up right now. I would like to start getting back and doing more Bible studies for myself. And so the action steps to get there is I need to actually set in my day, I need to plan that, make a time in my day, every day, I'm going to do that and do it.
Love it. I love that. And here's what I love about that, Tracy, because you recognize the first thing I heard you say is I want to do more Bible study. So more is a relative term, that could mean one, that could mean many, that could mean I'll just try to do more than what I've done before. So it's very vague. We want to get really specific. So when you say every day, I plan a time that I do my Bible study. And there's this book called Atomic Habits. Have any of you heard of the book Atomic Habits? Yeah, Alex is saying yes. Okay, Tracy, you too. So this one thing that he talks about, now I haven't read the book, I've just heard certain excerpts from it, from it. But one thing that he talks about that I think is really, really impactful is how you stack habits. So if you already have a habit, let's say your habit every morning is you go make coffee. You go make coffee every single morning at 6 a.m. Well, and weren't we talking about this, Alex and Joey? We were talking about this very thing, right? Well, if you're already making coffee every day, what can you do during that same time? You're already stacking a habit on top of that habit. So if that's what you do every morning, Tracy, then that's a great time to do your Bible study, right? That's right when you pull out those scriptures because the coffee's brewing, you can read those Bible verses and boom, you're done. So that's what Joey and Alex were saying, like that's exactly when they get theirs done. That's when I get mine done. I go to the gym every single morning and my drive to the gym is about 6 minutes. So during those 6 minutes, I listen to a podcast or something motivational, something that boosts my spirits and just gets me in that good frame of mind because it's already a habit for me to go. And we'll get to that in a minute, that part of my, personal growth is to listen to a podcast every single day. So I'm stacking a habit on top of a habit that's already there. So it's a lot easier to implement, but it's getting really specific on what it is that you want to do. So I'm so glad you said, I want to do more, but then you pinned it to daily. I want to do this every day. And give yourself some grace. Now, I don't go to the gym on Sundays. Sometimes I don't make it on Saturdays. And so do I feel like a failure if I don't do it every single day? No, it's just that I have a minimum goal of 4 days a week to get to the gym. So I know at least 4, but 6 is even better, right? But at least I know that if I do at least 4, it's within my realm of finishing a habit or not a habit, of just my goal. Does that make sense?
Totally love it.
Okay, good. Well, good. I'm so glad you shared. Thanks. Anybody else want to share before we move to the next section? Okay. Well, this is great. I love just be prepared to share if you can, because it really helps everybody else. Because if somebody's stuck in a section, they're like, I don't really know what to do, you might inspire them. So I'm grateful for those that are sharing. Okay. So the second is in health and wellness. What do I want to feel, create, or experience in my health and wellness? That might be you want to weigh a certain amount, you want to exercise or move your body a certain amount. Some people don't love exercise, so maybe it's just moving your body, getting up and going for a walk, taking the dogs for a walk. For me, I like to track my food so I know exactly what I'm eating and make sure I don't overeat too much. I mentioned already my 4 days a week minimum of exercising. So what does that look like for you in your health and wellness? What do you want to feel more of? For me, I want to have more energy. I want to be well rested. I want to be confident. I want to be fit. More than anything, I just want to be fit so that if somebody says, hey, you want to race? Yes, I want to race. And I might beat you. I might beat you in that race because I'm fit. I want to be fit. I want to be confident. So how do we do those things? How do we get fit? How do we feel confident. And that's where the actionable items come into play. And it might be that you eat a leafy green salad every single day, or a minimum of 4 days a week, you're eating a green salad. It could be that you're tracking your food daily. It could be that you're, now this is where I was trained. So Tiffany Peterson, a lot of this training comes from Tiffany Peterson, and you can find her on tiffanyspeaks.com. So if you want to, she has a ton of free content on YouTube. And so I want to give her credit because that's where a lot of this comes from. But she talks about how when you use negative words, like I will not eat any treats, I'm not going to eat any treats, that really, it sends a signal to your brain that it's like bad, 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 right? And we don't want to incorporate bad, the feeling of bad or the feeling of guilt. You want to focus more on the positive side of things. So that's why it's eat leafy greens at least 4 times a week, or drink a green smoothie once a day. And you're not focusing on the negative, like never eat sugar or don't eat those treats. It's focusing on the positive, the flip side of things. That what do you want to replace it with? If you're not eating sugar, what do you want to replace it with? But anybody want to elaborate on what they want to feel more of in their health and wellness?
I can go.
Great.
It's kind of basically what you said, though, that I want to feel more fit and feel more confident, just because we got pretty lazy and got pretty fluffy over the last 6 months or so.
Over the holidays.
Yeah, I feel ya.
So just kind of like toning up more. And so the actions that I can take is tracking my food and working out 4 to 5 days a week.
Perfect. Okay, good.
I'll go.
Yay, Melissa, thanks.
So I want to feel more balanced, and I did actually do this. Balanced as far as energy level, and I kind of have a very sensitive blood sugar where at one point I was hypoglycemic or something like that. So sugar is a big deal for me because my mom and my grandmother were diabetic. So I've always been conscientious about it. But I noticed too that since I have been working out and since I have been starting my day with protein instead of carbs or sugar, that I do give myself, that does definitely give me a better start to my day. I do have still some ups and downs every now and then, but so getting back to the thing is what do I want to feel or create in my health and wellness is just more balanced and more balanced energy and more balanced in my blood sugar levels throughout the day. And so obviously that, requires cutting back the sugar, continuing the workouts, because definitely working out and, helps you maintain a more steady blood sugar level and what have you. And so when I track on my phone, I have an app, I track my macros, as they call it, and that includes sugar. So that's really cool. Like what you said, you don't want to cause deprivation. You don't want to deprive yourself or deny yourself. You want to say, for today, I'm only going to have, 25 grams of sugar or 20 grams of sugar, which is challenging, but at least you got to have some sugar. And so you know exactly what that was, that on your phone, it tells you where that source came from, the sugar. So now okay, well, that's it for the day, so what else are you going to eat today that's not going to give you any more grams of sugar? Or really it's more spread out throughout the day. It's not just one thing, but so those are the things that really using the app, I tend to use it for a while and then forget about it, but staying on it helps me a lot. And working out the 4 to 5 days a week, sometimes 6 days a week, very rarely, helps me tremendously.
Good.
So.
Okay, that's good. And I'm so glad that you clarified, because when you said I want to be, have more balance, I was about to say, like, okay, well, what does that mean? That could mean a variation of things, but you just said yourself, like it's making that nutrition, that it's a complete balance, like whatever you set it for that day, that you're staying within that balanced range. So I'm glad you emphasize that. And then think about that with sleeping too. If you want to get the proper sleep, what does that look like? If you want to be balanced in all areas, What does your downtime look like? Like how much downtime do you need a day? How much sleep do you need a day to help you feel like you're balanced both in business life and personal life and eating as well. So just a clarification on that. Heather, did you want to share? You took yourself off camera, so I thought maybe you had something you wanted to share too.
I'm finally at my desk after doing some running around with kids. I can share. I write my goals out. I don't mind reading my physical section. As a daughter of God, I am beautiful and powerful. I am blessed to have a body that is healthy and strong. I respect my body as a key part of all my success. I have energy to meet all my goals and to strengthen my relationships. I am vibrant and alive at 165. I am sexy, toned, and confident as I go about my day at work, at home, and on any errands. My abs are flat and my shoulders are defined and amazing. I get up each morning and jump on my mini trampoline or do a shrink session for 10 minutes or more, followed by 5 minutes of core work. I do a full cardio workout 3 days a week for at least 45 minutes. While doing my cardio, I feel strong and alive and know that I am nurturing one of my most important assets. I weight train for 20 minutes, 2 to 3 times per week. I love the way my muscles look as I lift weights and can feel the changes my body is making. I am addicted to working out and the healthy high I experience. I crave healthy food. I start each day with 8 ounces of water and go on to drink 60 ounces each day. I take my vitamins and supplements first thing in the morning. I enjoy a green smoothie every morning, which nourishes my body with great energy for the day. For lunch, I typically have a large salad and enjoy different toppings and dressings. Dinner is a large serving of vegetables and a protein source. I have raw treats and a variety of fresh foods on hand to help with cravings and spend 30 minutes each Monday and Saturday preparing and planning for the upcoming meals. Fueling my body with wholesome foods makes me feel alive, powerful, and full of vitality. I love the way I feel treating my body with respect and purpose. I have great posture and I am thrilled at the way my clothes fit. I have a closet full of clothes I love that flatter my figure. I look vibrant in anything I wear. My skin is healthy and glows with the light I feel inside. Everything about my physical appearance is an outward manifestation of my inner energy and light.
Amazing. Do you know what I love about that is she talks as if it's already, you know what I mean? So she planned, she thought about what it is that she wants to feel and talked as if already, and then the action to get there. So that's really powerful because everything she's saying, she's telling her mind it's already happened. It's already happened. So it's easy to wake up every morning and drink 8 ounces of water and then carry on throughout the day drinking the remaining 60 because you've already told yourself that's what you do. That's just what you do every day, right? I mean, that's really powerful. Thanks.
Yeah, and this is part of my audio life vision, which we've talked about before. It's something that I recorded all these sessions that we're talking about. And then when I'm doing good, I listen to them each morning at least once. And that's one of the things I was redoing as I was getting ready to go into the pot up and where I wanted to be when I was done.
Awesome. Awesome. So acting as if, and that's one thing I didn't cover in the beginning of this call is that a lot of what we're doing right now is acting as if it's already happened. Act as if you already have met these goals. So you're telling yourself every day. So Heather's actually recorded herself saying these things and she's listening to it often to just remind her, keep her in that space of, hey, this is what I want to feel. And this has already happened. So act as if. So thanks for sharing that, Heather. That's a great example. And you can go through each one of these exercises later and do that very thing. Act as if, tell yourself these affirmations and what you do to make it happen. Any questions for Heather on that? Anybody have any follow-up questions or anything? Okay, well, feel free to use the chat if something pops up later. Okay, so we'll kind of move through these other ones. So relationships. This is number 3, relationships. What do you want to feel, create, or experience in your relationships? And what actions will help you move along that path? So relationships. What do you want to feel more of in your relationships? Anyone want to be bold and share? This could be your friends, your significant other, your parents, your neighbors, your friends, your family, anybody. So any relationship, your clients. Nobody? I can share mine. Or Heather, are you trying to get off mute?
Yeah, I've got a quiet bunch tonight.
I know. I know.
I think with anything with relationships, we're all just trying to build connection. So it's deepening that connection with our important relationships, whether it's spouse or children, if we have them, you know, or family members or friends. And so it's all about showing up to serve more there, as well as feeling more connected.
Yep. Perfect. And that's exactly what I put, is just connected. You know, so some of the action steps I put was a date night each week with Matt, because life gets so hectic with our 5 kids and the business and his work and everything we have going on, all of our kids' extracurricular activities. By the weekend, we've barely said 2 words to each other. Nighttime, I'm sacked out. I get up really early and he's kind of in more of a night owl. And so we really need that time to connect, where everything, all distractions are eliminated and we go out on a date. And maybe it's just to get a treat or go for a walk around the block, but some sort of time where we can spend connecting. Another thing that I committed to doing, a recent goal, is connecting with 20 people on social media throughout a week. So at least 20 people. I'm guilty of being one of those scrollers and don't really comment on people's. Are you guilty of that, where you just like, oh, that looks fun, that looks cool, that looks, yeah, Alex is like, yep, me. And that's me too. But if I just could take 2 seconds out of my day to connect with somebody and just say like, hey, oh, cute, that's so fun, that looks awesome. I've committed to doing that. And this is my 3rd week doing that. And it feels really good. It feels really good to be able to connect, even if it's something simple as, that's the cutest little 2-year-old I've ever seen, or, oh, look at those pups, they look like they're having a blast. No matter what it is, it's more than just like a heart or a like. It's actually engaging and commenting. So that's my commitment, is 20 people per week commenting. And you can see easily, you can track that really easily. You can just go, if it's through Facebook, you can go and track and see who you've commented and liked with, but I actually write notes on it as well. So I'm accountable and I write who I'm connecting with. But also with the 5 kids, I want to take them all out on a date. So going on at least 1 date per month with my children, taking them to get a treat or just spending some time with them. Maybe they're going on a walk, we're going on a walk together, but at least once a month. So that would be 5 dates per month that would be with my kids. So each kid gets 1 day a month with me undivided. So hopefully those are some ideas of helping you connect with, whether it's clients, family, friends. Oh, another one I committed to was 2 lunch appointments a month, with one with a family member and one with a potential client of mine. So not with an ulterior motive, not taking them out to lunch to try and sell them on pottery, just to nourish that friendship. So 2 lunches a month, one with a family. So I've already fulfilled that. I took my family, we went to lunch on Friday, my mom, my dad, and my brother. And then on tomorrow, I'm taking out a couple friends in my neighborhood that I just haven't seen for a while. So it's just loving on them, nourishing on them, connecting with them, and not trying to sell them anything. Pottery won't even come up, most likely. They might ask me, how's pottery? But my intent is strictly to visit with them and connect, because that's what I want. And that's what I love, is connecting. So hopefully that gives you guys some ideas. Any questions or comments? Otherwise, I'll just move right along so we stay on top of the time. We're good? Okay. So number 4, this is, what do you want to feel, create, or experience more in your business or career life? What do you want to feel, create, or experience? Heather mentioned the Paw Up. The Paw Up campaign is going on right now. So is that something you want to experience, is pawing up and earning some of those incredible bonuses that are up for grabs? Yeah, tell me. I want to hear. What do you guys have? What do you want to feel or create or experience in your business or career life? And it doesn't have to be pottery. If you have a different career and that you're up for a promotion or something, tell us. We want to hear. This is for all areas of your life. That's why we're covering these 8 areas. Anybody want to comment?
Yeah, we want to be getting the Paw Up bonuses. The first one would be the VP, but shooting for 3-star,
Good.
going all the way.
Good. Yes, good.
And then like, we want to be making $10,000 a month from pottery, so that it can be paying for our car payment, or not our car, our house payment, and really being like the solid base that we really want it to be.
Perfect. Perfect. So what are some of the actions that are required to, because people don't always say yes, right? But what can you control? What kind of actions can you control that will move you along that path to reach those goals?
Talking to more people and coaching my team as best as I can.
Yeah, perfect. For those that want to be coached, right? Because not everybody wants to be coached. So those that want to be coached. And when you say more, that's where I'm going to call you out. When you say talk to more people, what does that look like? How many are you talking to now? How many do you need to talk to up the ante?
Well, with boot camp, 30 a week. So, but I think we need to get better qualified people that I'm talking to. So probably like 10 quality people.
Okay. Yeah, Alex is like more and more. And sometimes you don't know though. Sometimes you don't know if they're quality or not, you know? So I do think it is totally a numbers game, that 30 is a good target, because out of those 30, there might be 5, 10, they may all 30 be quality. You just don't really know until you start that conversation and talk. So I think that's a good benchmark. But if you've been doing 30 and haven't had success, then yeah, I saw Alex like, you know, a little bit more. Knowing what the stakes are, you know, it might be one of those times where you say, okay, 30 is the minimum. The target is this. Outrageous is this, you know, so you have measurable goals, knowing that you've done 30, you know, 30 is totally possible, but ideally it's X amount. So mine's very similar. Mine is very similar. Talk and invite X amount of people per week to take a look at the business. So for me, what does that look like? 10, 20, 30? I mean, that's where I have to get really crystal clear. How many people do I need to talk to? Because what I want abundance. I want momentum. I want pottery in momentum, where everybody's like, yeah, I've heard of that company. Momentum. I want exponential growth. I want others to experience what we've experienced with the income and what it's done for our lives. I would be so thrilled to have just a room full, an event room full, not just like my office room. We're talking like a huge room full of people that are all like, yeah, I had my best month last month. I mean, I meet doTERRA people all the time. I just met one 2 weeks ago, or a week and a half ago, that makes 80,000, was it 80,000? Shoot, no, I think 70,000. I told you guys, was it 80 or 70? 80. $80,000 a month in doTERRA, $80,000 a month. If she doesn't really work her business, if she's just kind of being, taking the back seat and just letting things coast, 60,000. She makes 60,000 a month. So, but I've met dozens of people in doTERRA that's their story. They make 80,000, 70,000, 60,000, 40,000. They're all making just this obscene amount of money. So I know it's possible, and I want rooms full of people that are experiencing that very thing.
Trisha,
yeah.
I talked with Joe. He said that he thinks he can get 500 people in the room at PawFest. So before we got to get a different hotel.
Hey, that's not okay. Then we need to work on that, right? I want 500 people at PawFest. I don't care if they're on my team. I just want 500 people in that room. I want 500 people at PawFest. That's a great goal. Love that.
Work real hard.
Thank you for sharing that, because that to me there's nothing more, like that would be so incredible to see that many people in a room. So what do we need to do? Like, what are the actionable items to get 500 people in a room? I need to be talking to a lot more people. I need to train my teams to talk to a lot more people. We need to invite to PawFest, you know, so what does that look like? And that's where I have to get crystal clear on how many people I talk to. And coaching, Joey said that too, like coaching those that are willing to be coached. Coach the runners. If there's people that are working and are excited and are ranking up, that's who I spend my time with. And then the other thing I put the actionable items is just onboarding, making sure these new pet pros I'm bringing on, that they're being onboarded properly. They're understanding the fast start. They know what incentives are up for grabs and so forth. So onboarding, coaching the runners, and then of course talking to enough people. So for me, that's at least inviting 10 people each week to take a look at the business opportunity. Talking to 30 to get 10 to talk about the business, right? So 10 just business opportunities, not so much customers, but business. So any comments or questions about that? No, okay. So here's another one, number 5, financial. What do you want to feel, create, or experience in your financial life? Can anybody think of anything right off the top of their head, what they want to feel more of in their financial life?
I'll go.
Yeah, please, Melissa, thanks.
I want to be abundant so that I can be more charitable.
Love it.
And definitely something that I've been wanting to do since the beginning of the year, but we know how that goes. Sometimes you just get a little waylaid, is create a new budget for myself, because the budget that I'm working on is, or operating from, is several years old. Well, like a couple years old. So I know that if I really go through everything, I can cut some costs or find a better solution for something, or, you know, save some money somewhere. But just having that budget and just being updated with it would help me be more mindful. And that's the first step to, obviously abundance doesn't come from that mindset of saving and, oh my gosh, you know, but if I'm more mindful and if I know that I'm in control, more in control of my finances, I feel that I'll be better situated to start creating more abundance.
Yep. Without a doubt.
And yeah, and not having that extra money just fly in the wind either. You know, having the extra money really means something.
Yep.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, I feel like in order to have abundance, you need to know what it costs to run your life, right? What does it cost in a month to run your life? And what does abundance look like to you? If it costs $3,000 a month to run your life, $4,000 a month would be abundance, right? You'd have an extra $1,000 a month. It's just whatever you want to do with it. Maybe your monthly operating expenses are $10,000 or $20,000 or $30,000. So whatever it is, I have an uncle that just to break even needs like $35,000 a month because of all of his houses, his properties, his cars, his kids, everything. And I'm like, how frightening would that be to be like, I have to make 35,000. But I mean, to him, he's got unlimited resources. So I'm sure it's nothing. It's a drop in the hat for him. But the idea is, if it costs him $35,000 a month, if that's what it costs to run his life, what does abundance look like to him? Is it 40,000, 60,000, 1.2 million a month? Like, you know, what is it that will help him? So I think it's really important to know, where do you start? What's your budget? What does it cost to run your life? And what does abundance look like to you? What's that solid number? And that's really what I put. I want to eliminate debt, meaning our house. Like, the only debt we have is our house. And I just want to pay that off as fast as possible. So eliminating that, just to have that freedom of like, man, you know, I don't owe anybody anything. So what does that look like for you? Like, for me, it's tracking our expenses. We're not going to be able to keep that mentality or keep that way of living if we're not tracking what we're expending and being responsible with the money that we have. There's this really great app called Mint. I don't know if any of you know that, but it's a free app. Yeah, Joey and Alex, good. Yes, I love it. That tracks everything. What's that, Melissa?
I heard of it. So you're using that?
Yeah, and I love it. I love it. It's free and it connects to all of our everything. So we can look really quickly and see what our assets are and how we're looking, assets versus.
Can I log into it as a more like a software thing, like on my PC, or does it have to be? Yeah. Does it have to act as an app?
Nope, it's on my PC. I do most of it on my PC. It does have an app too, but most of what I do is on my PC. Yeah.
Okay.
But cool. it links to all of my accounts and everything, so I can see a snapshot and also see, like, what was this charge? What is this? And figure out, you know, where. And it's great because it notices habits too. Like, and I'll get emails towards the end of the month, like, you are $8 over budget in this, or you are $100 over budget in that. So it's really nice to see, like, where can we like rob Peter to pay Paul? That's what I usually say. Like, what budget's looking okay? So that we're not, you know, in the negative, we're balancing. So I really like that aspect, that you get warnings like, hey, you're almost out of budget. You're almost in your budget. You're over budget. So I like those.
It's also really nice for business stuff because you can go through and tally it. And then at the end of the year, when you do your taxes for the tax write-offs, you can just pull everything that was for business. And then that way you have it all and it's really easy to go through and say, this was for vendor events, this was for travel. So it breaks it all down. It's
to itemize. Okay, cool.
Yeah, there you go. Good. So this is good. Any other questions or comments before we move on to the next one? Okay. Oh, we got to be quick because we're running out of time. So I'll go through these other three kind of quickly. So personal growth. What do I want to feel, create, or experience in your personal growth? Are you looking to, you know, up level just emotionally how you feel, or it kind of ties to spiritual too, but personal growth. Like for me, I just want to be constantly nourished. I want my brain to to be active. And you know, I know a lot of people that can pull quotes from anywhere, and I not that I want to be like referencing quotes every day, but I also would like to say, oh, I was reading this recently, or oh, I heard this recently. So just nourishing my mind with really good content. And that's why I do that podcast every day on my way to the gym. And sometimes it's so good that I keep listening to it. I'm one that likes to listen to music when I work out, but often, you know, 6 minutes in, I'm like, I don't want to stop. I want to keep listening to this. And so I'll keep listening, which just nourishes the mind and the body at the same time. Isn't that great? So what does that look like to you? How do you want to feel? Do you want to feel empowered? Do you want to feel confident? Do you want to feel that you're nourishing your mind? How do you do that? What are some of the actionable items to do that? I'm going to breeze through these kind of quickly and then open it up for questions if you have questions, okay? So number 7, what do I want to feel, create, or experience in fun? This is the fun side, because you got to have fun in your life. If we take everything too seriously, then that's just sad. We got to have fun. So what kind of fun do you want to experience? What do you want to feel? What do you want to experience? What do you want to create as far as fun goes? For me, it kind of goes back to what Melissa said. I just want to have balance. I want balance in my life so that I do have a healthy work relationship or a healthy business, but I also have a family that sees that I'm not just all business, because I am fun. I can be really fun, but I'm also can be really, really serious. So I really got to let the guard down and have fun. I mean, I was known to be really fun in high school, but I feel like the older I get, the less I lose the fun and the more serious I get. So just allowing that to take precedence when the business is done. But how do I do that? I make sure I time block. I have to time block, and I schedule in the fun, which sounds sad. It sounds like that's like defeating the purpose, but I'm one that will just go, work. And so it's important to schedule the fun, schedule the date night, schedule the fun. So what does that look like to you? You know, what do you want to have? Do you want to go to Disneyland? Tracy, right? Tracy, do you want to go to Disneyland every other month, every other week? What does the fun look like to you? Do you want to go snowboarding? Joey, Alex, I see you guys snowboard often. Melissa, do you want to go on a boat? Do you want to go on a yacht and hang out with your friends and get drinks? What does the fun look like? Make sure you schedule that. But what's the action to it? What do you want to feel, experience, but what kind of action needs to happen to make that happen? And last, very, very last is give back. How do you want to give back? What do you want to feel when you give back? What do you want to create? What do you want to experience as you give back to the community? Whether it's a tithing of some sort, whether it's donating to a local rescue, whether it's giving back as far as like a boys and girls club and you're donating your time. How do you want to give back, and how do you want to feel as you do that? Is there a cause that you love that's been meaningful to you that you want to give back to? What do you want to donate? Okay, any questions? So we kind of breezed through those last 3, but I want to make sure we talk about the next step to this. So any questions? Nope, okay. Okay, so next step. So now you have a roadmap, and I hope that you give it a little bit more time. I mean, this is meant to maybe spend another hour, at least I would say another hour, really diving into these categories. What do you want to feel? What do you want to experience? But what action is going to be required to help you get that feeling? So be thinking about those things over the next week and a half. Try and even do this tonight. If you have some time tonight, give it a little bit more thought, because then step 2 is we are going to create a vision board out of all of these things. And you're going to use symbols, you're going to use pictures, you're going to use words, whatever it is that you're going to put on a vision board to make it tangible, something that you see. I talked about in the beginning that your mind sees in pictures. So it's really important to have pictures. Like, for example, okay, let me back up. Joey and Alex, you built a house, right? You built the house you're in now. You just moved in. It's been almost a year, right? You've been there almost a year. So this was a process that took some time, right? But what did you start with? What was the very first thing that you had to do? You had to draw what?
Started with Pinterest.
Pinterest.
Okay, good. That's actually good. That wasn't what I was thinking, but that makes perfect sense. That you're like, okay, how many windows do we want? Or what kind of fireplace do we want to have? Or how big do we want it? Do we want a rambler? Do we want a 2-story? Do we want a basement? So you started out with like visualizing, but then once you kind of visualized what you wanted, you had to put it to paper, give it to an architect, right? And say, this is what we're thinking, put it on paper. So everything that came from your mind went on paper, and then that was the plan. I mean, that's what you had to refer to time and time and time again is this house built from foundation to walls to sheetrock. How many times did you go back to those plans and consult them and look at them? And how many times did they change even, right? They probably changed a lot of times too, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that's why we're doing this. It's March. Like most people do vision parties in January, but things change. I mean, things have changed for me since January. So I think it's important to always be revisiting the vision. What is it that's inspiring you? What do you want more of? What do you want to feel more of? Things change and shift. But the most important thing is you're putting it to paper, because in your mind only works so far, but to see it on paper and then it comes to life is even just so incredibly powerful. So that's what we're going to do. We are going to take all these things you've been talking about, every single section, what you want to feel, what you want to create, and you're going to find pictures that relate to that. So you're going to go to Pinterest, just like Joey and Alex did. You're going to go to Pinterest. You're going to go, is there anybody here that is not on Pinterest or doesn't know how to use Pinterest? Everybody
Not really. I probably can figure it out, but can you just tell me quickly?
Yeah, yes, because I'm sure you're not alone. I'm sure others will watch this and say, I have no idea what Pinterest is. It's an app that you download, like a social media platform. So you download Pinterest, and then if you search for anything, let's say you search for like fashion, that's what I have, a board of fashion. So it brings up all these different fashion people. And if there's things that you see that you like, you can hit pin and pin it, and it saves it to a board that you create that's just called fashion. So I have one for fashion. I have one for house, like house decorating ideas, one for our cabin. I have a board that's any cabin theme or something that I see. I'm like, oh, I want that for our cabin. I love that bunk room for our cabin, or I love that decor for our cabin. So you just can create these like digital boards that are digital pictures of just different ideas of people, you know, people's designs, their creativity, pull from their creativity and make it your own. So that's what Joey and Alex started doing, is they're like, okay, house designs, like maybe they looked at house designs, maybe it was just office space, or, and then all these different pictures flooded and you can choose which ones you like. So
Okay.
as
Cool.
you go, let's say like for health and fitness, like that's one that I really like. So as I was looking at pictures for health and fitness, I was finding different workout routines that I liked, or different like poses, like yoga poses that people had that I thought, oh, that's cool. I would love to be able to do that. So that becomes some of my pictures for the health and fitness.
Like recipes.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
there's recipes. There's literally everything you can imagine is on Pinterest. So use Pinterest. That's a really great source because you can print those pictures. Once you create the boards, you can send them to a printer and print them. And that's why we have actually a week and a half to do this. So our next call will be a week from Wednesday. So you have over a week and a half to collect pictures, to get on Pinterest and just, you know, every day spend some time collecting pictures on there. So magazines, you can go to Barnes and Noble, and they have lots of magazines like Better Homes and Garden, or just several different magazines you can pull from there that would help you, you know, as you think about what you want to feel more of. There's lots of pictures you can get from there, or just Google images. You know, if you have an idea, like my goal weight, I Googled just the number, and there was lots of different numbers that I could pick from that I'm just going to print that, and that's my goal weight. So I'm going to put that on the chart, and nobody knows what that means but me. Like they might look at that and say, what does that mean? And I don't care. I'll tell them. But, or like zero, the number 0 means zero debt. I don't want to have debt. Or like a dollar sign. You could do lots of dollar signs and that would mean abundance. So it can be symbols, it can be numbers, it can be words. Yeah, like inspire or momentum, or, you know, lots of different words you could print out. One thing, and I shared this with another call I did, but I really love, there's this one car that I love. I love Range Rovers. I think they're such beautiful cars. So that's the car, at least right now. That may change, but right now that's the car I plan to get one day when I don't have 5 kids I'm hauling around, when I'm more like by myself, right? So Range Rover. So I actually went and test drove Range Rovers, and I asked the guy to take a picture of us. I'm like, will you take a picture of us driving this car? And I drove it around for like 2 hours. I said, how long can I have it? And he said, you know, hour or two. So for 2 hours, I pretended like that was my car. I went to lunch. I went to a little coffee date with a friend. I mean, we really made it seem like it was my car, took pictures. I acted like it was my car. And that's on my vision board. What else? Oh, rings. I love wedding rings. So that's another thing I did. I went to a jewelry store and made a private appointment for me and 2 other people. And we just tried on wedding rings. And the ones I love the most, I took pictures of it on my hand. And now the ring I have now looks almost exactly like one of mine in my vision board. So it's neat. This was like 2 years ago that I did that. So it's really neat to see the things come to pass that you put on the board. That's the whole idea of it. Because if you put it somewhere visible, somewhere where you're going to see often, you're going to be inspired every time you walk by it. Because these are the things you've mapped out over this last hour. This is what I want. This is what I want to feel more of. This is what I'm dreaming about, and putting it to paper. So Joey, do you want to show yours? Because you have one, don't you, that you've put together recently? Is it you and Alex together? Did you both do it, or is it just
I have my own.
Okay.
Yeah. So, well, this was before Pod Trip, so this one did not come true, but there's going to be another one. I know that.
Yeah.
So we want to be top in Fast Start Superstars, like sponsoring superstars. A quote for Alex and I to have a good marriage. I'd love to someday be like, do the leader dogs for the blind and be a puppy raiser. Another quote that's like being a boss babe. Like an actual picture of, you know, the 20% body fat I want to be. Eventually I want to be good enough I can speak on stage. 3-star VP, and then have a star tour in Michigan. And then the dog mom, stay-at-home dog mom already came true.
Love it.
And I have some other ones that didn't actually make it on there, but like traveling to Ireland, going to Greece, and a nice hot tub for the house.
Fun. Cool. That's awesome. So see how it's like an actual poster in their office they can look at every day, and it has everything they're dreaming about, want to be, want to feel, want to experience, want to have. So whether it's vacations, because all these, we didn't get really super deep, but all of these, you know, I would suspect that in every category of these 8 things, there's several things you want to do, have, feel, experience. And so that's what all these pictures are coming from. And that's why we're giving you a week and a half, because it might take some time to collect all of that and put it together. But the idea is a week and a half. So Wednesday, we're going to come together here. Anybody here locally, I'm going to have treats. I'm going to have like glitter glue, paper. I'll have some posters. So Tracy, your local Heather, who else? That's it. That's on this call. But anybody that's watching the replay, I know there's a few that will be able to come. But we'll be having snacks and treats and put this together. But we'll be going live through the Zoom, just the same Zoom link, and having the time together, putting it together. And we'll show pictures just like Joey and Alex did, and like, look what I found. And it'll just be us hanging out together virtually and some here in person, but putting all these pictures together. So, you know, oh, go ahead.
Do you buy the posters somewhere, or just use like a box and cut out a big piece of cardboard?
Yeah, you could do that. You could do that. You can actually get poster though pretty much anywhere. Like we have a local neighborhood market that's it's all groceries, just a small section of office supplies, and they even have poster there. So I think you could find it pretty much anywhere, and that might be a little bit cleaner surface to work off of.
Yeah, Melissa, you live in Florida. They probably have, I'm sure in Publix, they have like an office, a school supply section.
Like in the school supply, or like CVS, the drugstore?
Yeah, I'm sure they will. Yeah, because kids need posters all the time for different like art projects and things at school. So I would imagine there's things like that. But Heather, talk about what you have a different idea too that's worked for you.
Yeah, I was just going to say you can even use a magnet board or a cork board. So like if you have a whiteboard and you have a section where you can do it there, or a cork board. I've done that before. I also have a book I carry around with me. So this is my binder, and it just has pages with my different dreams on them. You can't really see. Okay, here's my weight one, and it's got some things that I can't do yet, like planks and the way I want to look in different clothes. So that's some of the stuff, and the flat abs. So anyway, I just have pages for kind of everything. Here's one of my pottery pages that I just finished yesterday.
Cool.
So it's got the pop bonus that I want, and you know what I want to be, and then some of the things of how I'll feel and what I'll get. So this page is where I'll use some of the money. Like I love to eat out, but I don't always have the money. So these are 2 places I'd love to eat out, and some drinks to help. This is a bracelet I really want. So I told myself once I get to 2-star, I'm going to buy it for myself. And then this is having enough money to do bigger birthday parties for my kids. And my daughter really wants to go to the Harry Potter in Florida. So I just add in specific things, and then Wonder Woman's on the bottom to show I have the power to do it all.
Love it.
But yeah, just things like that. So you just do what works for you. I think it's really smart to have somewhere you can see it that's visual all the time. I like the book because I can rotate them pretty well. And I go through my binder as part of my close end of day routine, as just a way to kind of review my goals right before I go to bed. And that kind of helps have it on my mind and get my reticular activating system going more heavily. So
Love it. I'm glad you shared that, because I think that resonates with a lot here too. Being able to like have it easily accessible and also interchangeable, as things change and goals change. I'll leave with 3 quotes, and I shared these earlier, but they're so profound. I feel like they are so applicable. So I shared this in a different call that was related to vision, but I love them. So one is from Oprah Winfrey, and she says, "The big secret in life is that there is no secret. Whatever is your goal, you can get there if you're willing to work." And I've seen that time and time again. Like Joey, I love that you said like, okay, Paw Trip didn't happen this year, but next year it's in the bag, right? Like I'm working towards it. It's okay. It's totally okay. So I love that. It's just, are you willing to work or are you going to give up? You're willing to work and you're going to make it happen next time. So I love that. Here's one from Jack Canfield. "If you keep on doing what you've always done, you'll keep on getting what you've always got." So that's why we're visualizing. Like, to me, that is everything we're talking about in a nutshell. Do you want to keep on doing what you're doing? If so, great. There's no judgment in that. If you're happy and you're coasting and you're perfectly happy where you are, then great. But if you want more, then you got to do more. Because I'm going to read it one more time. "If you keep on doing what you've always done, you'll keep on getting what you've always got." And then the last one, Werner Erhard. Werner, I have a hard time reading. Werner Erhard. He says, "Create your future from your future, not your past." So whatever happened yesterday or last week or last month has nothing to do with what's happening tomorrow, the next day, and the next day. So create your future from your future, not from your past. So I love that. I hope those resonate with you as you think over the next week and a half. Maybe set aside an hour or 2 over the next week to get those images together. Go to, send them to your local Costco or Walgreens, get those pictures printed, collect them from all sources, whether it's Instagram or Google, or you take your own pictures, go test drive your favorite car, and put all those together, print them off at Walgreens or Costco, wherever you go, and then let's put them together in a week and a half and we'll have a good old time. So thank you so much for being here. Are there any questions, comments, thoughts before we're 2 minutes over, but I'm happy to stick around and answer any questions.
Excellent, Trisha. Thank you. Lots to think about.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
I do have a quick question.
Yeah, Tracy.
So can we do like a couple things in each category?
Yeah, absolutely. The more, like,
Doesn't matter if
honestly,
it's just, okay.
yeah, I would say if there's a few things that are really important to you, like you don't want it to get so cluttered that it's not recognizable, right?
Yeah.
You want to be crystal clear on what they are. But yes, I say if there's multiples, then add them in. We want you to be inspired when you look at it. And so if there's 2 things or 3 things that inspire you, by all means, put them on there. Yeah, great question.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
I have one.
Yeah.
Okay, so Heather and Kathleen and I were kind of talking about this morning. So it's not necessarily like, I mean, you can find it somewhere, it's in business or whatever, but be also thinking about like your dream pet pro. Like, what does that person look like? What do they act like? How are they, just like while you're getting clear on these goals, but also thinking about the type of people that you want to bring in. Or like your perfect customer even. And so that way, because you're focusing on the things that you want, and that's part of what you want is attracting those types of people. And if you don't know who you're looking for, how are you going to know when you find them? And so that's something that Alex and I had been working on lately, is figuring out like, what does our dream pet pro? I mean, dream perfect pet pro kind of thing. And then you're going to find people that have some of those qualities. But really like getting more of a target of who do you want to work with, because that's what we've been really working towards.
And she has a name, right? I mean, I love it. You named her, and she looks like. It's great. I think it's really, really great because again, it's just getting crystal clear on what it is that you want to attract, who you want to find, and when you see them, you'll recognize them right away because you've already built them. They're already there in your head. You just got to find them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Perfect. Thanks for sharing that. Good. Okay. Any other questions, comments? Okay. Well, thank you again. I appreciate it. I will put this, I'll post this in the event page for those that missed it, and also on the 5-star team page. Joey's going to go live later and show her vision board and kind of get some folks excited about it. But if there's any team members you want to view this and participate, we'd love to have them. The more the merrier. So we will see you Wednesday. I should look at the date so I know for sure. Sorry.
It's the 18th.
Wednesday the 18th. Yes, thank you. So Wednesday the 18th, same time, 8 p.m. Central, same link, and we'll be having a party. And those locally, please join us here. It'll be fun to have you here at our house. So, okay, thanks again, you guys. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll talk to you a little bit later. See ya.